Get gargled. That's a sentence. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Haven't gotten that new waiting screen, but you know what we have got? Did get a new other waiting screen. This transition didn't really work as well as it did in my head. But you know what we've also got for you? We have a lot of viewer games. Viewer games and viewer games and viewer games. We got a lot of exciting things coming at you tonight. We also got some excitement out of my season pack. Sometimes it do be like that. Get that Poison Ivy Trap Gaming coming soon to a Chomp stream near you. We'll see how this goes. Might take a little while to level this bad boy up, but we'll get there eventually. We'll get there. We'll get there. But chat, we do in fact have a lot of viewer games to go over. And of course, before we get into everything, we have 2 points of note this time. The first, of course, is that I am part of the content affiliate program. That means that Phobies team does in fact give me coffee for producing Phobies content. Just got to let you know before we get started. But speaking of coffee, we're not going to be having Monster of the Week next week, January 13th. Why? Oh yeah, it's because Fright Night 12 is coming at you. By the time this goes live on YouTube, it will quite literally be the night before. And I'm excited. I'm very anxious to see what the players have in store. It's been a little while since we were able to get Fright Night up and running simply because, well, the holidays. It's the end of the year 2023. Now that we're into 2024, it's time to get that train rolling once again. It's coming. But before then, we do have viewer games to get through, so let's get to it. What's going on, chat? How's everybody doing out there? Poison Ivy, yep. Let's go. I'm actually, like, I was clicking through it, and I'm, like, doing stuff and getting the stream ready and things, and then it's just like, oh, that says new phobie. It's Poison Ivy. All right, I'm pretty excited. That always happens, Luffy. Don't you remember being back in grade school and then writing the incorrect year until, like, April? And even people past then? I had people in December putting 2022 on things. It's, yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. But yeah, chat, we're going to be jumping in. We got some viewer games. We got a lot of stuff going on. We'll see. I'm trying another different setup here physically today. See how chat does for me on this. I'm going to try and forcibly break the habit here. We'll see how it goes. I don't know if it's really going to save me all that much effort or real estate, but we're going to try it out. We're going to try it out. Just sliding things over. You can probably hear that. I was doing a lot of toy pictures today, chat. I was actually doing a lot of toy pictures, and I was having some fun with that. I posted a bunch into Discord. I got a few that I need to edit up, and then maybe I'll post to Discord later, but we'll see. We shall see. We're going to jump in, chat. We're going to get in there. Nope. So we're leading the night off with Dino Nuggy. Dino Nuggy, when I saw an overlevel Allosaur at the start of the game, I got worried for a bit. Chat, I have to admit the notes for this sounded really familiar. Like, did we do this game? Hold on, let's verify, chat. Let's verify, chat. I have to go to my own YouTube page. I'm trying to figure out if my memory is failing me. So maybe chat can correct me. We haven't had one of these in a while, I don't think. Let's see, Dino Nuggy. Dino Nuggy was the last game on the stream last week. Let's see, who's Dino Nuggy playing? Yep, this was a game from last week, so we're going to skip this one. It does sound familiar. Yeah, it was. I looked at it and I'm like, this seems weird. But we do have more Dino Nuggy games to look at. Why is it screaming at me? There's nothing here. All right, take 2. It is still, in fact, Dino Nuggy, but this time, not a game that we did last week. This game stalled out, which was great for me. We get a little red rum action, my earliest, most hated map, I would say. I distinctly recall a time when I absolutely hated this map, but our hero here, Dino Nuggy, leading off with the classic sheep first opener. Literally not a thing I think I've seen in almost 2 solid years. I even remember seeing that? Not gonna lie, I don't know. Sheep first is a little weird. Dino Nuggy, putting it on the board. Write that one down for your personal playbooks, chat. I don't know what the hell this snowball is doing. I guess that's the thing, you know, when a dog wants to lay down, it's got to scratch and then it walks in a circle like 10 times. That's what this snowball's doing. I guess. I don't know. We're going to go with that. Speaking of dogs. Oh, I can hear the groaning. I can hear the groaning from the good girl. Hi, Harley. Good go, baby. It's you. You're the go, baby. All right, chat. Let's get back to it. I think I have bingo now. Sheep opener was my last one. Congratulations, Kuro. You can see the front desk for your booby prize. All right, so we got a little Tooth Fairy action to supplement. I don't know, like, I legitimately, what the hell am I looking at? Why? This is every turn now. I feel like bad guy is just trolling. Every turn, they have moved this snowball and then moved it back. I think they... If I didn't know better, I'd say we were live observing the game and they were doing it just to tilt me. You can't kill this snowball, can you? Like with the Tooth Fairy just coming down here, because that would be comical. It wouldn't necessarily be good, because you lose the Tooth Fairy and possibly the cat also. Actually, you probably wouldn't. The thing is, by claiming this point... Bad guy can kill this cat and then somewhat safely reclaim this point. Maybe not necessarily this turn unless they were going to give up the snowball, but they could do it kind of soon. You know, like they pop out a 1 key here and... Okay, sure. We're going to go Gravedigger instead. Adjusting the volume here. Apparently we're going to go Gravedigger instead. We're going to try and mirror Tooth Fairy... to Murder Wing, Oculus. We got snowballs. The difference maker here is going to be Jar versus Sheep. I guess. I don't know, chat. What? And why? This is now starting to bot. Why is this happening? Why are they doing this, chat? Why? Why are they doing this, chat? It's actually starting to get to me. Doing this. Don't get it. Chat, am I, like, being trolled right now? What is happening? Using every action, I guess. I don't get it. Okay, they didn't do it this turn, though. So it's clearly not they're annoyed by, like, the fact that the numbers are there or something, or that it's annoying them at their end of turn that, hey, there's still something to be done. They're only doing it under certain circumstances. I think the more irritating part is that it's not consistent. It's like, they don't do it on every turn. It's nearly every turn. Now you got Dino... It's contagious. It's actually contagious. You got Dino Nuggy doing it now, too. Somebody let me know what the hell is happening here. Why is this happening? Is this a cooked snowball? Not quite. I think bad guy just got bored. I don't think this is what you want, bad guy. This is going to be a sheep hit here, snowball here. Actually, you may snowball here? I don't know. We'll see. Oh, no. That's even worse. I think that might be even worse for you, bad guy. Oh, maybe not. Because they can't get through here. Like, you could have probably supplemented. Maybe a jar wouldn't have been enough damage here, because I would have thought you could take a pot shot here. But, I mean, you bodied bad guy's team, so. Find myself doing it later without realizing I'm going to do it in real life. So, wait. Is that, like, the Phobies version of walking into a room and then forgetting why you walked into the room, so you just leave? Is that the Phobies equivalent to that? Like, they walked up and they go, wait. Where am I? Where am I? And then they just leave. I can appreciate the high five just for the lulz. Oh my god. Is this still had all these moment? Please tell me you're going to cupcake the snowball. Yeah, bad guy's just surrendering here. What's funny is it still takes a couple turns for our hero to finish the game. Wait, why? No, just kill him. Just target the heart. What is happening? Oh. Wait, so bad guy's playing now? They must have, like, DC'd for a turn or something. I don't understand that. Chat, I'm gonna make a weird meter. Like a barometer for weird. And I'm gonna put it on the side of the screen during streams. And we're gonna rate the games to see how high on the weirdometer it gets. Because I have to say, this one was starting off pretty damn weird. Starting off weird. I don't know what to say, chat. I assume it's this one. Actually, wait, it could be this one. I have a feeling it's this game, based on the notes, but I'm not sure. Because both of these, I don't know if there's a phobia issue, a skill issue. Because the thing is that Potenzia listed both. They have two games that they submitted against Master Dark, and both of them are listed as being played on the 28th. But this one's the 20th, and this is just a time zone thing. So, like, I don't know which one is which. This is why I usually ask for the day, so I can have a differentiator. But in this case, they're listed as the same, and I assume... Actually, Potenzia has 3 games against Master Dark listed. One is the 29th. So, it's not this one. We're going to go with this one. I don't know which one the notes are for this. I vaguely recall somebody saying they submitted the same game with different notes. All right, so this is a little weird because I think Potenzia submitted the same game twice with different notes, and I vaguely remember that being mentioned, but I'm not sure. We do viewer games every week. Which, by the way, if you want to submit your own games, hit up the Random Thoughts Discord. Ah, you like that segue now, don't you? All right, so first set of notes for what I believe this game is. I think this game is a good showcase of how infuriating Akira is to face. It kills a phobie from literally 6 tiles away after completely winning the positional battle just by existing. Then it's up just back in time to simultaneously defend a Heart Rush and help out in a Heart Rush. You simply cannot beat it unless they make a mistake. Yeah. So assuming it's the same notes for the, like, this is notes for the Second set of notes, but for the same game. I don't know if this is a phobia issue, a map issue, a skill issue, or some combination of all three. You be the judge. All I know is that game was torture. I assume that this game was torture. By the way, in the end, I was like 90% sure I was going to win, but I forgot Akira could have misanthrope. First of all, misanthrope? What? Also, lol. So yeah, we're going to see some Akira shenanigans. Potenzia, our hero here, does in fact lose. Shout out to Potenzia for submitting a loss. Always got to point that out. Again, it's tough to submit losses. It's tough to put your name out there when you're not winning. Interestingly enough, there was an early boomer that was chosen to slide across the board here, even though this exists. This big mean thing. The Akira is kind of problematic for a variety of reasons. First of all, this map sucks. This map is terrible. It was one of the first big maps available to the game. And let's be real. It's just not healthy for the game. It's just not. At this point, I don't think, well, it could be healthy in a very stretched definition. Ooh, Raucous. All right, so we did get to see Raucous and Boomer come out against Akira. Obviously, Boomer not for very long. But aside from my own misgivings about Akira, there's also the general problem with Xylo, where I think it has pretty much always had a miserable game pattern. Once it was figured out, and it didn't take very long, that, hey, if I have more polls than you do, I have a huge advantage. Why'd they invest so much to kill Boomer? Because it doesn't matter. They have Akira, probably. It wasn't that much of an investment. Like, you hit it with this, and then you cassowaried, wasn't it? Did they need creep, too? Why? I don't care anymore. It won't let me click on the vault. So we got Raucous Boomer showing up for bad guy, Master Dark in this case. We get a repeller. So we get a little push-pull action. I don't know if Master Dark has access to Hevo 2.0. I think they do now, but maybe not at the time of this game. That's one of my go-tos for this map, but I also prefer to get Terraform to break these center rocks. In either case, we're not seeing that out of Potenzia. What are we going to get for the yoinks? I think the biggest thing with Akira, I mean, aside from all of the other problems, is that there is a level of inevitability. It is basically impossible to advance your game plan in the face of Akira that isn't just bum rush Akira. Because eventually, unless the game's about to end, of course, eventually the Akira will catch you. It is very, very difficult, verging on impossible, to not end up with a beneficial Akira pull at some point. Speaking of which, boop! This is a great target by bad guy. The heart is one of the biggest liabilities on this map because whether it's a Hevo boop, the repeller boop such as this, it's whatever, it allows for really horrible, horrible things to happen to you or your opponent, depending on the scenario, because it's difficult to position. That's why I like Terraform's opening this up even just a little bit more to allow for something to happen. Now, of course, this attractor is now on the other end of creation, unable to really interact for some time. We're going to get the return cassowary. And I don't think there's anybody in the game who thinks Akira is balanced. And maybe it is. Again, putting aside my explanation of balance that I did a video on a while back, Akira could be balanced. Maybe there is reasonable counterplay within the pool. I just don't know that the gameplay loops that are afforded by Akira are really fun. Like, I don't think that it's a super fun game to play trying to avoid Akira forever. That just doesn't seem engaging at all. Or intellectually stimulating in a way that I want it to be. Like, it obviously is, because you need to plan for all of these potential eventualities. But I'm just not really interested in playing that game. We do have a lot of pressure, only about halfway on the hard health here. I don't know about this one. We are gearing up from a push by Potenzia. 2 keys remaining for Master Dark. 11 for, well, 3 for Potenzia. We get a little high 5 action. I don't hate the idea. It's a good attempt. I don't hate the idea. Little pop in the snowball here. Boop. By the way, Akira has an AoE attack, in case you weren't sure. And a little boop. And all of a sudden, like... Oh, look, Heart Push is completely defeated. You could argue, oh, the pull is there, Klepto can go, etc. Like, Rock is still alive, but oh, by the way, Here is live now. Here is live now. Maybe Potenzia needed to make the decision to go for it, and by that I mean the window was just narrow enough, and they just missed the window to go after it. But, again, I don't know. I just don't feel like this... I don't feel like there was a worthwhile Phobies game played here. Look at that. 2 kills off of Akira. That means that creep is on the heart, on the stim. Almost a takedown on a tractor here. But, yeah, we're just going to finish it off. Interestingly enough, don't actually kill these, but 4-to-1 panic point advantage, damage done to the heart previously. You have to rearrange these things even to get the connection with the high 5. Well, actually you don't, because that clears itself out. High 5 takes a big chunk out of the heart health. You could say this was a close game. You could definitely make an argument that this was a close game, but, I mean, was it really? Was it really? That poor Klepto being cooked alive? Yeah. I don't know. But like I said, Potenzia definitely made a game of it with this push. And at the end of the day, that is kind of the answer. It's like, all right, just go get him. But what exactly are you supposed to do when the Akira kind of shuts everything off? Like, you know you're going to lose a ton of stuff, and we didn't put a lot of effort into identifying whether Master Dark optimally used the Akira. But the Akira got 2 game-changing yoinks off. On top of all of the soft influence you get from just bullying your opponent by, I have to dodge Akira across the map. I still am of the opinion Akira's a problem. And I don't think it makes Phobies better for its existence. But it is here, and it's here to stay, at least as far as we know. GG. I don't know, chap. I don't really know what to do about Akira that seems to be in the wheelhouse, because I don't feel as though any stat changes are going to be meaningful for it. I don't think it really makes much of a difference, but... yeah. Speaking of Master Dark is no longer the bad guy, but instead the good guy here on Rise to Stardom. Get gargled. That's a sentence. Here we go. We got a little Rise to Stardom action. One of the contest winner maps. While we're watching the early game here, yeah, chat, I mean, if you feel differently, let me know. But I just don't. Here's every time I'm forced to play Akira, well, not every time. The only time that I actually enjoyed playing Akira, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool, is when I can set up goon plays. But the thing is that realistically, that is good, but there are way better ways to utilize Akira. That's just an acceptable one. That creep going down for freezies. Get cooked. Getting cooked. I don't know what the answer for Akira is. I really would like to, and if we have any high-level players out there that are watching this, I would love to have, like, aliengineer or Karst or, you know, get the ones who hang out here, like DT, Honda, A. Mark, and a number of other people. Like, there's a long list. Don't feel offended if I didn't mention you by name. But get a bunch of the good players, the strong players, the best players in the game. Get them to just literally run a bunch of frenemies games. One person with Akira, one person intentionally not using it. Because obviously you could get into an Akira often. It just gets very silly very quickly. Just sit there and test scenarios. Like, pick a map, just run it for a while, and then decide. Like, is there a reasonable answer? Obviously, you're not going to solve every scenario with it for all time forever. But you can at least say, okay, this set of phobies is a reasonable answer if there's abyss tiles. Or there's a reasonable answer if there aren't abyss tiles. Or it's a reasonable answer if this or that. And we can try to collectively come up with something. Because right now, Akira just feels like it makes the game very silly. Speaking of silly, transitioning back to this game, what the hell is Bad Guy doing? I honestly think they felt that there was just no way that their stuff was going to die. But there's really no way that your stuff was going to live. That's 7 keys just... It's like, I don't need these keys. I'll just play at a handicap. It's no big deal. No big deal. Lol, blue connecting with 2 phobies. It's blue. Chat. That might be one of the better blues I've seen. Honestly, it might be one of the better blues I've seen. Temptress, huh? Bad Guy being very aggressive about this. Like, look at this. That's a lot of orange panic points. And the blue, that was a fairly significant reduction. Not enough to reduce it to 0, but still a lot. Jar going down anyway. Chat, something about this particular game made me think that Rise of Stardom is a fixed Phobos, or like corrected Phobos. It's not really, but it was just because we saw massive amount of panic points get taken all in one player's favor, a bunch of aggression, and then we get the counter here. I was going to say Bad Guy's going for dimensionals, because like there was a bloat on the board, but just wanted bloat, I guess. Also, masterdarksh just going to gargle here, isn't he? Whatever the heck, like petrify, whatever the hell the ability's called. Or not. Bonk. Getting bonked. Getting bopped by the good boy. Wait, what? Alright, Master Dark is just having fun with things now. That's a baby snaky. Phobies I didn't expect to see. Kind of cute, though, because, of course, Bloat is a dimensional, as mentioned. So, yoinks it off of the disease tile onto the panic point, leveling things out a little bit until now. And, of course, bad guy goes for the Ice Scream against Master Dark, who is a large proponent of the many freeze phobies. Oh, get wrecked! Ha ha! There we go. Getting gargled. That Gravedigger is, in fact, trapped. Bad guy just getting bodied. Yeah, that's a cool play. Closing the gate. You love to see it. That erratic's probably not helping you here. Hashtag just saying. I guess the erratic's not going to be bad. It can eventually chase down this Hevo, but Hevo's going to have a turn and a half of shelling this Gravedigger. Doesn't even need that long. Ooh, not bothering with the panic point, just going for it on the heart, which I like. Obviously, the Ice Cream could have come down and frozen here. We get the counter freeze in Yeti. Bad guy, I think, used up all their... No, Snowball wasn't used. I was going to say, we don't know if they have anything besides Snowball to thaw stuff, but they have no keys left, so in fact, they do not. Something tells me Erratic, Eternal Night, and Ice Scream are not going to go the distance against this particular set of monsters. Looks like a dead Ice Scream to me. We even get a little Rock Lobster action here in Clobster. That's hilarious. It is. I wish Gargle's poison would disappear once it turns to stone. I wasn't checking. Does it tick while it's... It does tick down. So it is good, Kuro, that it doesn't. Because otherwise you could just purge the poison, regardless of how long it is. I mean, really, it's... Henrietta poison is the main one, I guess. I don't... Because the rest are like 3 turns, right? So, like, you could tank out the rest of it. Because, like, they poison you. You petrify. I don't know if that works out. I don't care. It's such an edge case scenario. I guess it's something I should learn. It's not that hard to figure out, but I just... tired. I don't care. GG, Master Dark. Very funny game. Very funny play with Gargles. Very funny play with the Gargles. Back on Xylo, this time with Santa Hevo Jeremy. Fighting an Akira on Xylo without having your own is exhausting beyond measure, but the satisfaction of beating it is almost worth it. Featuring High Five and bombs. You love to see it. So it is possible, as mentioned, to defeat Akira. And obviously we're going to see a case study, we'll say, in doing so. However, I'm still not a fan of it. Now, notably, our hero here, Jeremy in the blue trunks, is opening up with a Terraformer, something that I had mentioned in the earlier game with Potenzia and Master Dark. What Would it have made a significant difference in Potenzia's plays? Maybe. We'll see how it plays out here. Ooh, Tickle's going to heal instead of going to the center tile. That's interesting. You could end up, quote-unquote, winning the one-key trading war here because you already have 2 1-keys, but I get preserving it. Like, that's fine. Bad guy electing to bring their own Terraformer on the board. There's something funny about the way Gravedigger walks. Like, the way the feet move. I don't know. Seems a little weird. This map is one of the few that I kind of really like Bachelor on. Mostly because I think we've all caught somebody once with them killing your dimensional. Like, you put your dimensional on the stim and they get pulled into the abyss. They always undo it, of course, but it is funny. It's cute when it happens. Bad guy taking a page out of our hero's book, of course, opening up the map. The body block there with the Bachelor, or the Hevo for the Bachelor. This is fine. The Rock is threatening an invade here, but bad guy now has 12 keys. I have to imagine this is the Akira turn. That the day suddenly hit me. All of a sudden, I'm like, I'm like tired. Oh man, I didn't get a lot of sleep this weekend, chat. I couldn't go to sleep Friday night into Saturday, and then I had to get up early today. I somehow have to get enough sleep during the work week to prepare for Fright Night. I don't know how that's gonna happen. All right, and here we get the big retreat. Of course, we got to set up in prep for that Akira. All right, interesting positioning with the Raucous. I mean, I guess this makes sense. You don't want to put it in front of the Inoculus, because there is a world where, like, Akira off of Stim hits the Raucous, splashes onto Inoculus, and then they clear out the cat, and then Snowball can run through and snipe your Inoculus. And then you're in just a horrendous position because you've lost tempo into an Akira. Ooh, beauty. You love to see it. This is definitely a cute beauty map. You can definitely make some things happen. There's stims, and there is a panic point between said stims, meaning that you can do some nasty things to your opponent. Beauty also relinquished, I mean, we talk about this periodically, but Beauty kind of relinquished its title of the most irritating phobie to boss a long time ago. So it's almost quaint to see it show up again. Get a little flying V out of the Bachelor. Oh, baby, there's a Gonzo now. Things are about to get messy. So here's a question. So this wouldn't move, so then this shouldn't... So if Akira were to pull from where it was, the Inoculus wouldn't move. Would the Gravedigger get pulled into the Abyss? It shouldn't, right? Because it should want to go towards the heart. But the way the pulls and pushes check the rotation... So yeah, I'm not sure if there's the potential that the pull would drag it into the pit. I don't think it would, but... I always want to double check these things because every once in a while I get caught unawares by some of these displacements. That would make no sense. I kind of agree. Okay, chat, what is... Remember a couple games ago? Well, it was literally a couple games ago. I was saying, let's get some high-level players together and decide, well, like, how do we appropriately answer Akira? We've now seen multiple high fives try to answer Akira. Is this like an actual thing, or is everybody just kind of copying Karst because Karst has been pushing high five a lot lately? There's a potential, like, nasty Blom play here coming next turn if bad guy offers himself up to it. I doubt it's on this turn. Every game I tried to counter Akira without an Akira, I think I've lost all of them. I haven't, because I've definitely won games before I got Akira against Akiras, but that's not to say that it's easy or anything like that. It's still extremely silly. All right, pressuring the Akira here. All right, not the Blom I was expecting. Maybe the one we deserve. Ooh. Big takedown down here. Or up there, rather. Flipping the panic points as well. So bad guy brought the Finnegan on for additional boops. You will potentially get some cool Akira pulls. What do we got? Lepto goes down. High five is going to go down. Ooh. Ooh. Brutal, but, I mean, that's still a beauty sitting on the stem that's going to target your team down. 6 keys to 1 remaining. That's a painful turn, but pretty well set up by our hero. Down goes Akira. Down goes more stuff. Down goes more stuff. That's still a very full health beauty. Like, that's not going to die this turn. I do appreciate the body block here, preventing something, namely Snowball running through onto the stem, although I don't know if that would have been enough damage. Now, Fireball wasn't even up, although I guess you could just slap it. Tooth Fairy, huh? I don't know if that's the answer. Certainly, I don't know if that's the answer down there. That's a Blom. Down goes Snowball, down goes Jar. Cowbell swag walking all the way up. I think this is just heart pressure now. The game started to even out. Like, you could argue that bad guy is kind of stabilizing. Like, their heart isn't under an enormous amount of pressure, it doesn't look like. I think the ultimate thing is that our hero really did appear to have to work way harder than their opponent in order to turn things around, thereby reinforcing the idea that it takes a disproportionate amount of effort to address Akira. It can absolutely be done, but it's more effort than people should have to put in order to combat it. But GG. Well played, Jeremy. Well played. Yeah, that, similar to, well, all the other Akira games, we could sit here and analyze every single turn once Akira hits the board and is live as to whether the Akira player missed an opportunity because, of course, Akira does get very complicated. And it's a skill check for both players. And I think that's the thing that people may understate. It's very easy to say, oh, well, Akira's an oops, I win button. Or hydrate action. It's very easy to say, oh, it's an Akira. You just press the button and you win. But that's not necessarily true. I think it's true in the long term, like over the course of the entire game. Yeah, you'll get them as the Akira player, assuming something doesn't close the game out sooner or you decide to lose my Akira for no reason, that sort of thing. But it isn't just put it on the board immediately win. There is a level of positional battle that has to happen. I just don't find it very interesting playing it to, like, hide my team in this tiny corner. This is the only place I can be until they shift, and then I hide in the other tiny corner. So, yeah. The hell with Akira. That's me, lose my Akira for no reason. I mean, I've done it. Lots of people have done it. You're not alone. All right, we got somebody new, bringing out the new, well, new, not necessarily new players, but new to viewer game breakdowns, and it's Indigomenace is our hero here. Interesting strategy by a higher level opponent using Furnace Face. Erratic comes to the rescue for me. All right. Well, I do love me some Furnace Face. We actually have been seeing it in recent weeks, showing up more and more. Oh, chat, you're going to get excited by the next game. Sorry, not trying to get ahead of myself, because we do have a new submitting player here, so we want to give them their due. We do get an interesting set of plays in general. Like, okay, Furnace Face, fine. It's unique. We don't see it very often. It's cool to see it show up, but Bank to Furnace Face right off the bat seems a little weird. Maybe it's just me. But our hero here, going with a known but lesser played strategy, breaking the block here with Gravedigger rather than trying to cap it with a flyer or doing things later in the game to try and claim it, or just fighting for the center of the board. Instead, we get the Furnace Face trying to desperately even things up. Bad guy's going to have to do something soon to stabilize this panic point advantage. Banking to 6 once again. Interestingly enough, 5, 6, 70, 680, 80. So, like, this, I think, would have lived. Wait, 980. I might be miscounting, but I think this Innocuous would have just lived. So, like, you could have walked up and poked this. Even if it wouldn't have, you would be incapable as bad guy of actually threatening this, because you have to go through the cowbell first. Point is, I think it would have been worth walking up and poking the Furnace Face, especially given the fact that you're going to see smoke here. And Furnace Face, of course, wants all the smoke. Protecting itself here. We get a yoink. I like the displacement option into Smoky Stokey to try and pull things out. But unfortunately, like, if they sit on this spot, can't actually pull them out of the smoke. Oh, is that you, Kuro? I saw just showing up on the spreadsheet there. Getting the invade onto... This is not a dead spider. Oh, no. Is this a dead spider? No! Along went the spider. No! Oh, no. Not like this. There went the spider, chat. Now, admittedly, bad guy just walked all the way up to the lion's den here. But they now have a lobber. 2 lobbers. They have a lobber who's softening up the errat. Really? Yo, that is a bold move there, Cotton. Did bad guy just miscount? That's the same level as my furnace face. Got it upgraded from the bug fix reward. Nice. Nice. Did bad guy just miscount, or did they, like, forget that this is going to heal? Like, this is exactly how you lose this game. I guess they felt if they didn't go for it, they're never going to kill that erratic, but I don't know that that's true. You can just poke, walk, and then just, you know, stutter step backwards with the jar to soften up the erratic. And instead... Oh my god. Ugh. What a great kill and then throws. Me, for real, for real. Yeah, I know that feeling. I kind of feel that vibe in my bones. This is like, we're not cooking, we're overcooked here. We're overcooking here. Like, this is burnt. What? Sure? Okay, we get the jar to finish it. But can you kill the spud? I mean, realistically, it's 0 keys to 0 keys. Your Innocuous is still alive, so even if bad guy does anything, it doesn't particularly matter. Man, the throws. Chat, worst throw 2024? It's an early contender. It's an early contender for worst throw of 2024. Should I keep that, like, keep track of those, chat? Because that's, yeah, that's kind of brutal. I don't know what to say. Like, there was no reason for bad guy to lose that game. Well, maybe not no reason. I don't think it's unwinnable for our hero if bad guy doesn't just, you know, throw their phobies into a wood chipper. But it's pretty unwinnable for bad guy when you just decide to donate 12 keys. Seems bad, man. GG. Seems bad, man. All right, Chad, here's the one that cheaters who are looking at spoilers may have been waiting for. You know, it's not every day that aliengineer submits a game for viewer game breakdowns, but we actually have one from the Terror of the Ladder themselves. Brony's dance makes your heart fall. I mean, little brony dance, it's adorable. Why would anybody want to fight after that? So we'll see if we can take some notes here. Aliengineer going up against frequent bad guy Hoploy. Hoploy, of course, the final boss of many people's games. Bringing out the puff. Why is Hoploy everybody's favorite bad guy? Level 26 puff. I think that should probably tell the whole story there. Even for Aliengineer, that's going to be pretty high level. In fact, it's kind of the ratio. Well, not the ratio, but the differential between what I have when I'm fighting Aliengineer versus what they have. That's 4 levels away from maxed. You are correct. Yeah, Hoploy is getting there. Hoploy was the first one to unlock all of the stress phobies and will, I can only imagine, be the first person to max out every phobie. I have to wonder if the devs have something planned. So, for example, they like, they don't announce the stress level phobies. So, like, Sir Probes a lot was not available to see until, even for the content affiliates, it was not available to see until it was unlocked. And it was the same with all the other stress phobies. So I have to wonder, is there something waiting in the wings when Hoploid maxes out some phobies? So we don't even have a single level 30 phobia yet. Whoa, it is gargles. Chat, hold on. Hold up. Hold up. Aliengineer cooking here. Gargles leading to a 3-0 panic point advantage on crypto. Hoploid does get the takedown here, recaps the point, pops out a boomer, which I can only assume has, like, Texas with a $ hit points. 11 billion. But are we going to get a Gargles to lock this center point down? Or are we going to take their point? Neither. We're just going to leave and go to the spa. Yes, Hoploid, as far as I know, is at maximum stress level. But obviously, there's still phobie levels to be achieved. Hence why they were able to get Sir Probes a lot. Panic points going into bad guys' favor. 11 keys to 12 remaining. This still isn't a great spot for Aliengineer yet, but here is Brony. Let's see what we got here. Brony v. Puff. Do I just use this as the thumbnail, chat? I could crop me out of it. Get Aliengineer and Hoploid's names on there. Smiley. Is that really the answer? That's maxing out Hoploid. It does make sense to pull the Puff back. At least temporarily. You don't want to have Brony just go in and be like, all right, I turn off your entire offense. Or if not your entire offense, certainly most of it. What? Oh, that takes some stones. Get it, chat? Stones, because it's crush more. Take some stones, because it's crush more. Is this thing on? Just rolling the Crushmore, not just into enemy territory, but onto their stim and basically shaking hand to wing with Smiley here. This is actually dope. This is ridiculous. This is some big-ass brain plays from Aliengineer. Turning off the Murder Wing and the Contortio is significant here because now the only offensive threat from Hoploid is this Puff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 phobies. 7 keys locked away that are inaccessible until something dies. And you know damn well Aliengineer's not going to kill it. Panic point advantage is in Hoploid's favor, but this is almost 1,000 damage a hit. That's like high 5 levels of damage. We do, of course, as mentioned, still have Puff available. Spreading the disease. I have no idea why Aliengineer went Blinky specifically, but sure. Triple Panic Point Orange. Well, no longer. Rushmore goes down, but you can't actually get Puff in range to hit this. Ball game. Well played. Galaxy Brain plays from Aliengineer. And this is what separates good players from great ones. Good players from great ones. Finding the ways, despite the level disparity, on what is almost universally reviled as an atrocious map into one of the better plays on this map, a Blom that is mobile, like a cheaper beauty, and doing it with we'll call it non-meta Phobies. And on top of all that, with an incredibly aggressive play and going for the throat at exactly the right moment. I may go record this game and put it on YouTube independently, chat. This one was great. Future me will have to remember that. I did record some other games earlier today, chat, to load up as like silent games for future reference. But yeah, I'm with chat. Like that was actually bonkers. When I'm doing viewer game breakdowns, I'm usually not trying to, unless somebody calls out and says, hey, like, I want you to assess the game. I want you to, whoop. Oh, you can kind of see the puppy there. Her eyes are like, yeah, she's actually, you know how dogs will sleep with like their eyes sort of open? I can tell by the way she's, like, I don't know if you can see her. She's dreaming about something. Apparently my voice is soothing enough for her to sleep. But anyway, so what I was going to say is I usually don't, I'm usually not trying to break down the games when I'm watching them unless somebody explicitly asks for it. You know, it's more just like entertainment value and be like, oh, that's a cool play, or like these are the things that could happen most of the time. But that was a game that, like, there really was an incredible shift where it's just like the Crushmore advancement in retrospect is like, yeah, you go for that. But I wasn't checking numbers, obviously, those sort of things. That was bonkers. Like, that was an incredible play to know I can go for the throat here. Got Radiator from the seasonal pack, new spammable phobia. I love Radiator. I don't use it as much as I should or want to, certainly. But I do love that phobia. As a streamer, I don't think that having a soothing voice that puts people to sleep is very good. I mean, what are you going to do? There's only so much you can do. You can work on your voice, obviously. Most of it's like, you can change your range a little bit. You know, singers do that sort of thing. You can, you know, work on accents or things like that so that you are more intelligible, but it is what it is. Let's do the next one, chat. I don't know how we top that one. Why don't people favorite their goddamn games? Why don't people favorite their games? Sir Pudis, 2022. Or 22, not 2022. 22. Excuse me. Forgive my slip of the tongue. New hero here. Similar to a couple games ago, we have the last 3 games we've had new people submitting, although aliengineer is a known quantity in the Phobie community. New, I believe, to submitting games themselves. We've obviously looked at a number of aliengineer. We're here on Locker Room Funk. Potenzia here. I saw this game and thought it was interesting. It's not pinned. Might have fallen off the profile by the time this game gets reviewed. Anyways, Boss Gonzo getting obliterated by Furnace Face and Firkin. Okay, so it's Potenzia submitted the game, but it is not Potenzia's game. So shout out to Potenzia for catching a cool game. I know people obviously submit their own games, but that is an option. You can submit other people's games if you'd like in order to showcase something, because we're always looking for cool games. But as mentioned, we're going to be looking at a little Boss Gonzo action. The Terrible Monkey themselves has, in fact, shown up. Chat, do any Phobies have 5 fingers? Because I'm looking at Gonzo here, and Gonzo only has 4. And 4 toesies. Do any Phobies have 5 fingers? You know, I mentioned this in the Ask the Dev channels as a joke, chat, but Both Winnie the Pooh and now Steamboat Willie are in public domain. So I asked them when we're going to get Phobies based on those two characters. And I think it would be hilarious. I mean, obviously there was that, I didn't see it, but I assume it's terrible that, there's Boss, speaking of terrible. There was that terrible, horror movie, like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, I think it was. But there's the Firkin. There was there's an announced game called Winnie's Hole made by the Ring of Pain devs, which is a, like, pseudo deck builder that was, like, a horror deck builder. And then they're making this other game, since Winnie the Pooh was now in public domain. So it'll be interesting to see if we get anything like that ever from Phobies. I highly doubt we will. Phobies team has been creative enough that I don't think they need to take the low-hanging fruit there, but it would be kind of funny. So now we've got all 4 Phobies that are mentioned. Boss Gonzo and, of course, Furnace Face Birkin. Furnace Face with no fear, just walking up to the boom, but with Smoky Stokey. Like I said, Furnace Face wants the smoke. So we get an erratic as the answer. Firkin's unlikely to be able to handle erratic for obvious reasons. Quick pick there on boom. That feels kind of lazy by bad guy. We get a little repositioning here. Taking down the cowbell. Some free kills. Still on cooldown thanks to the earlier Firkin Unlucky Charm. I was going to say whatever the hell it's called, but in fact it's Unlucky Charm. Get the repositioning. There are some You're Fired options here, but of course this is not as good. You'll get both cats, but like, here's the thing. It's these 3, and this is a damaged boss, and 1 Phobie. Probably. I mean, I guess you could split it a little bit smaller. But our hero here has 10 keys. And they are under-leveled, chat. Is Furnace Face the secret answer to boss that everybody's been ignoring? Is Furnace Face the answer? All right, so we do, in fact, get Clinico. I think many of us... Wait. What? They must have just ran out of time, because there's, like, no reason to not do this. I love the way Furnace Face moves, that it just drags its fat ass all over the place. I really love Furnace Face. I really want this Phobie, chat. I really want this Phobie. All right, things were... You could make an argument that they're evening out, but it's a 3-0 panic point advantage. And Bad Guy kind of... Wait, did they still not heal this thing? Chat, why are they not healing the boss? Like, the Clinico could have been off cooldown already. Well, not already, but it would be coming off cooldown soon. Why are they not healing the boss? Get a little muffin action. Speaking of heals. Furnace. All right, so we do get the boss power down. Prevent the You're Fired. This is going to greatly reduce the chain damage from erratic, plus the initial damage here. Chat, we're getting a sheep, and it actually doesn't seem insane. Chat, what year is this? 680 damage. Superhero erratic here that I can't click on. Gotta click on the shadow. Only 680 damage. Thanks to Smoky Stokey. Yo, we want that smoke. I mean, you're gonna get cooked here anyway, but... Alright. There have now been minimum three questionable plays from bad guy here. The 2 whiffs on the heal. And then now I think you're fired. Because the smoke doesn't reduce the damage from the fire. And it's going to, like if, at the very least, this is now stuck in the fire. Or it has to retreat the other way. Like it has to run away from the fight. But you're going to get hit with the sheep here, which now the Clinico is more valuable, but the Clinico would have been off cooldown by now. I don't know. This is weird, chat. Isn't it on cooldown? What, the heal? They never used it, if that's what you're talking about, Kuro. I didn't see the comment, but they never used the heal. This boss was never healed. At least I'm pretty sure it wasn't. We can go back and check, because I think this is the end of bad guy here, for the most part. Admittedly, there's a lot more turns, but... So our hero's down to also bringing out a Clinico. Are they going to use it? Oh, the boss ability. Oh, yes, you're right. You're right. It's still... Okay, so only 2 questionable plays. 2 questionable plays, because they got hit with Firkin. I thought it was back from Firkin, but I am incorrect. Hey, we get the Clinico heal. I didn't know it could do that. The puppy is out cold. Such a good girl. All right, the smoke is gone, but so is erratic. Wasn't that like a bad sci-fi horror movie? It was like zombies versus robots. Or was it a comic book? Like, that's ringing a bell in my head. Chat, we've seen Akira's go down on this stream tonight. We're about to see Boss Gonzo go down on this stream tonight. But yeah, the earlier comment about Furnace Face and Honey Bear being anti-boss, we've seen... I mean, people have done it to me when I posted boss. They would just run Honey Bear out there, and it actually was on this map against... Was it Aliengineer? I think Aliengineer did it to me. Yep, that boss is just never going to get your fired off. And honestly, on this map, it makes a lot of sense to do this combination or something similar, because they kind of can't get away from it. No, like, you just can't avoid getting hit with Firkin. And then you couldn't kill a higher level attractor? Yeah, that happens sometimes. Boss, get cooked, buddy. You know, I don't hate this because it allows for the additional pressure. If they want to stick around to kill the corn, they're going to have to give stuff up. Or you can just gonzo. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Popcorn, anyone? Wait, what? That can't be right. That can't possibly be the optimal play, right? I refuse to believe that that's the optimal play. I mean, at this point, it's certainly over. Gonzo is not taking down this team. Very well played. Very well played. This is a cool game. Showcasing some good ways to try and counteract one of the common terrors of the ladder. Unfortunately, the bad news is Furnace Face. Whoop. Furnace Face, yeah, that's an ultra rare. So that's going to present an issue for a lot of people with collection problems. But Honey Bear is a suitable replacement in most cases. It's... I don't know if you need the Firkin if you're going to Honey Bear, but I get why you would still want both. You could still then, like, Firkin the Gonzo and then Honey Bear to avoid the You're Fired instead. Whereas this, you can Firkin the boss, let them have Gonzo, and then Furnace Face to cut down the buff. Like, the buff still matters from Gonzo, but it's obviously not nearly as effective. So, definitely a cool strategy. Very cool. You got chat. Tonight is the night of new game submissions. We are getting a lot of new people to game breakdowns. This time, SuccubusAloo. Welcome to the party. I think Succubus happens to be hanging out in chat, so shout out. If you're interested in submitting your own games, hit up the link in the description, like and subscribe button, blah, blah, blah. My Discord, you know the deal by now. So our hero here in the blue trunk, Succubus, interesting opener, notably banking to 6 instead of putting a 1 key on the board. Bad guy here is doing the usual response. This, of course, prohibits our hero from taking the top panic point freely, but we're getting a Hevo. Succubus submitted a game before, did they? We do a lot of these, so I'll take chat's word on it. Temptress. Why do people go Temptress? It's a level 15 Temptress. I don't know. I don't get the Temptress. That's a level 17 Bad Omen. So, I don't know about the opener here from our hero. Like, the 1 key that got banked again just feels kind of wasted. So you could have had a 1 key out here, which, given the opener, maybe, like, the response from Bad Guy maybe didn't make a difference, but I don't... The Hevo response isn't... Like, if you're going to bank, that's fine, but then bank. Like, I don't know why we're kind of waiting. But either way, Bad Guy's kind of offering things up here. Like, this has got to be a dead Temptress. I have to imagine this is a dead Temptress. Because it's 2 hits, 1 hit, 1 hit. The problem with doing that is you're going to be under an enormous amount of pressure because then... this can come down, this comes in and depowers, this comes in and beats you up. So instead, we're going to go for the Cassowary. Definitely respectable here. I doubt you kill this. But it does force a retreat here. It occupies the spa for a time. I don't love this Gin Sting placement, but I get it because you want to protect the Hevo. Because then you could go Temptress here, Stairmaster here, kill Hevo. But this is why, and I almost think you should bait the Hevo, like bait with the Hevo. Dangle it out there, let your opponent come in, and then you trade 5 keys for 9. Because like they would come after you with Stairmaster and Temptress, and then they're close enough that you could pop out Jar to help, or possibly, you know, I don't know if you have access to Morty, but like a Morty could go here and then help clobber the Temptress. But either way, despite the power down, taking down the Snowball, this Temptress is really regretting its life decisions right now. Little bees action. The Maggie out of here is a little weird. So this is still kind of a tough spot. But the sheep here actually is a pretty decent deterrent. No Morty? Okay, not a problem. I mean, the bait may not have worked if you hung the Hevo out there to dry, but maybe. I don't know if you can get a very good invade here. Probably not. Kind of just have to reset. You bought a little bit of time because the Temptress is going to have to sit there on the spa, similar to your Hevo, but at least the Hevo can interact with the board. Sheep down here is almost assuredly safe. Although I guess they could have Morty. They have 10 keys. Like, Morty, Meatball, Temptress, something. Multiple somethings, maybe. Bad guy offering up Phobies like a meat platter. You lose the Gin Sting. Well, the boss changes thing. I was going to say, losing the Gin Sting here isn't terrible because you should be able to retaliate and get 2 of these 3. But the boss is going to make life complicated. Notably, the top panic point still hasn't been taken yet. Alright, is our hero going to go for the... Nope. Ooh, I love the Grayley in here. I love the Grayley in here. Urk, where you at? Urk is going to be summoned through the internet. How often... I feel like this Klepto has been hit a million times, but it just hasn't taken that much damage. I say that now, and that's its last. So long, Klepto. We hardly knew ye. But yeah, I do like the Graylien because there was the potential that you get a little switcher U action to get this boss. So the sheep could get a connection here. The Henriette is fine because ultimately... Huh. Wait a second. Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered. What I was thinking is you could switch your U here, but you needed to waste a bunch of damage to clear out the Temptress. So, like, if you switch your U, you get 2 hits from the sheep, but 0 from this, and then what are you going to do? Hit it with a jar? Like, that's not going to kill this boss. It does split your opponent's forces through that, and I don't think there's any way they can kill your Graylien, but I don't know if that's really doing enough for you. Get a little Giggles action, something we don't see very often. This is kind of where I gave up. I mean, it doesn't look great, I'm not going to lie. 0 keys to 0 keys. Couple of big, tanky mechs, which makes the Sheep and Gas look a lot worse, but you do have a displacement tool. I think I never read the notes. Brought Graylien to counter boss, but failed miserably. Lost hopes of winning the match. Eventually, Graylien got the clutch by heart rushing alone. I realized I never read the notes as soon as I'm looking at chat, and I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, no! Little switch or you? Alright, so we can definitely get the takedown here on Paper Mache Stairmaster. Giggles sounds so much more demonic than Bowmangles. It's clearly the same thing. Well, maybe it's not clearly the same thing, because I can't really picture Bowmangles in my head, or hear it in my head. But it seems like it's just pitch-shifted Bowmangles. No. How do you heart rush this? I legitimately don't know how you heart rush this. Like, you can get a kill here, but Giggles isn't killing anything. At least not solo. Because, like, Maybe this is a numbers thing. Like, yeah, because you won't be able to kill the... Like, or they can't kill the Hevo all that easily. Could they not have... I'm a little surprised that they didn't go on the spa to stay on top of this and also be in range of your Hevo. Because you couldn't kill it. And then they would have been able to kill this pretty easily. Ironically, they kind of hose themselves by hitting your fired here. Because now, like, they clearly moved to this spot to avoid the fire. Well, I guess you can make the argument that they moved there in order to target down the heart. But you have a 5-0 panic point advantage now. And you're on the other side of the map. Oh, no. You're never getting there in time. This was well played, pulling victory from the jaws of defeat. And even though you're saying you gave up, like, not actually giving up. Many people disrespect the heart rush as a victory condition. But it's as valid as any other. Look at that. Still a panic point advantage for our hero. That Grailian damage, get there. Well played. Well played. Very well done. GG. I'm back, baby. Welcome back, Killian. Not bad. I know people don't like Vile Vortis, but I like that map. I like that map. I don't know if I'm being trolled by this next game or not, chat. I don't know if I'm being trolled here. I'm legitimately unclear. It's a good map. People don't like it because of the play patterns. But I think what's funny is I feel as though as time goes on, the things that people don't like about Phobies don't necessarily go away. They just get replaced with greater dislikes. So if you don't like Phobie A or B, well, now there's you didn't like a tractor? Well, guess what? Now there's a Kira. So get wrecked, nerd. Oh, you didn't like that map? Well, now, you didn't like Vile Vortis? Well, now we have the Once lore, so get wrecked, nerd. Like, it feels as though the game keeps escalating the things that we hate. Which I don't know if that's really true. Great game notes? Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know if I'm getting trolled here, Kuro. All right, our next game up, I'm not sure if I'm being trolled, but we're here on Morbidity. Our hero is Colds of Fear. Somebody else, once again, new, or maybe I'm incorrect. Maybe we did one of their games before and I'm forgetting. So if I am, my bad. But the notes here are, Sorry, I don't understand what you mean by game notes. I don't know if I'm being trolled or not, but in the event that I'm not, the game notes are just intended, like, if you want to say anything about the game so that, like, we know what to look for, or if you have any actual notes about the game that you'd like to share, a funny quip, things like that. Like I said, I don't know if I'm being trolled here. I'm not sure. But this is, notably, if you didn't cheat and see, as we were clicking loading into the game, this is a low stress level game. How low stress level game? Well, we did, in fact, see Morty on turn 1. We got level 5, 4, and 4. Pretty low stress level. So let's see what we got. We get a Finnegan going to the center. This Finnegan is going to get eaten alive, I think. Maybe not. We do get... Oh, no. No! Oh, God, chat. It's been a while since we saw one of these low stress level games, and colds don't feel like we're attacking you. It's just kind of amusing. Get boomed. Realistically, this trade is going to kind of end up being the same. Like, you're going to get a 1 key out of this, probably. Maybe not, now that the Klepto's on the board. But our hero jumping out to an early panic point advantage. See, this is risky. Is it risky? There's actually not enough damage between these two in order to kill this. Excuse me. And there's not enough surface area or anything. Not that this could reach anyway, but even if it could, there's not enough surface area in order to actually connect with everything. Actually, I take that back. There will be. If this was in range, you could kill the spider because this could go here, this could slide in, and then the Klepto. That's not the case. Instead, we get a little fetch action. Shout out to the undead good boy. Does every Phobie type have a good boy? You got Fetch. You got Snowball. You got Werewolf. And then, of course, there are the honoraries like Slammerhead and Finnegan. And then you got Canine. So, yes. In fact, every Phobie type has a good boy. Get booped Klepto. I don't love it because now this the spider is dead. Hilariously, this droney is putting in work. Like, seriously, this droney is putting in work. It is all over the place. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. Droney would fly 10,000 miles, and he would fly 10,000 more. Just to be the droney that flew 10,000 miles to show up at your heart's door. Da-da-da. Something like that. For a while, I was considering doing, like, Phobies song parodies chat. And I put in a lot of effort for some of them, and then I just, like, never actually did anything with it. Down goes Klepto. Got hit by the good boy Triceratops undead. Sheep, of course, doing the early stress level thing of threatening erratic. Getting bonked on the head. Cowbell doing a little bunny foo-foo impersonation, I guess. Chat, we ran through the games pretty quick tonight. You know, you don't see a sheep fart on a jar every day. Not a sentence that you normally would, like... it would come up. You appeared for next stream? Oh, I see it got added. Bad side. Ooh. Got a little bad side manners. Bonk. Down goes the blankie. Chat, like, this is a game where it's more fun to just call it play-by-play in general, as opposed to, like, trying to assess plays, because there is just, like, stuff. There are things happening. Do any of them make sense? Not necessarily. But we did, in fact, get the connection here. There's still 10 keys and 12 keys. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Bad guy is just getting bodied. That's a bold move there, bad guy. Honestly, I don't know what their alternative was, but, like, I don't agree with any of these sequences. I kind of get the sense that they are sacrificing their team at this stage. This droney, I'm telling you, it's done... Oh, come on. You needed to cap this point so you could complete the whole circuit. Oh, no. Right into fetch? Yeah. Yeah. The Gators had a bad day. You know what's funny is the Gator could have died because you could have walked your Gator through to kill their Gator. Does it matter? No, not in the slightest. It does not, in fact, matter at all. No, not the droney! Not like this! It didn't have to be this way. The counterfetch, obviously. Don't count bad guy out, chat. The counterfetch. Oh my god, is this fetch just gonna get booped? It probably is. It is not, in fact, going to get booped, at least not this turn. 666 damage. And we're going to go through the motions, I guess. We're not just going to boop it. All right, we'll assume Hero had a Ray Chargles. GG. Well played. Yeah, that... chat. Watching low stress level games is hilarious sometimes. Watching low stress level games is hilarious sometimes. No boop. Yeah, I don't know. Minus 10 points on that one, Colts. Minus 10 points for no boop. You could have booped. You didn't boop. Sorry, Chad. I made the mistake of looking at... oh my god. I don't know if I want to have this conversation again. I don't know if I want to have this conversation again about the goddamn season packs. If you got a chance to boop, you got to boop. I mean, it's true. You can't pass up those opportunities. All right, chat. Our 10th game, technically the last game of the night, is a Renamon game. We'll see if we got, you know, we went through these pretty quick, so maybe we'll do a couple more. We'll see. Coming back to Vile Vortis, it's Renamon, sporting the grimy avatar. A somewhat close game. Smiley face. Do I detect a hint of silliness due to said smiley? Possibly. Okay, when I said silliness, I didn't mean, like, the wheels have come off, we're full-blown unhinged. Because that's a turn 1 Paschetti. Chat, I hope you came hungry for pasta because there's spaghetti for everybody. Why is there a turn 1 Paschetti? If Renamon goes, like, full dimensionals, you know, a little hydrate action. I see dimensional, I see disease. I mean, that's like... That's one way to go about it. That's one way to go about it. Oh, chat, I don't know. Should I do a video on the end of season rewards? I'm so tired of seeing it come up. I mean, it comes up every season. Wait, what? What? I mean, first of all, I think this is doing the dimensional event or something. I'm assuming from Renamon. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen Crushmore just break that obstacle. Like, why did that just happen? Also, another foul. Okay, so bad guy's name. I'm going to assume everybody out there has seen Wreck-It Ralph. You know the scene in the beginning of the movie when he's at, like, Bad Guys Anonymous or whatever the hell it's called. I don't remember what it was called. A little disease action. And then, you know, Ralph tells a story, and then the devil guy says something nice, and Ralph's like, thanks, Satan. He's like, actually, it's pronounced Satine. Like, that's what Bad Guy's name reminds me of. Easier access to that point. I mean, I get it. Don't get me wrong. Like, I understand why the break. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do it. I think it's a reasonable adaptation. Especially because, like, oh, my Crushmore got a little damage. Well, there's a healing spa. Who cares? The bigger issue here is going to be this Miss Moffat. Bad Guy is maxed out right now. Our hero is not, notably cheating on their dimensional promise, going with that Hydra. That being said, the Hydra is a little hilarious. A little Octonauty action. You love to see it. Do we have an undead pull? We have Octonauty for dimensional. Monster is Miss Moffat. Attractor is mechanical. We don't have an undead pull, do we? Now, the one against Shinra might be more interesting. The one I submitted, you can do that one instead and save the other one for another time if you decide to do one more tonight. All right. We'll figure it out after this game. Down goes Snowball, I think. Whatever it was. Get the yoink here onto the foul. That's going to be a dead bird. A double dead bird. I'm assuming it's a dead bird. Dead bird. Get cooked. In fact, the most appropriate answer to foul, right? Like, just cook the damn bird. Then you wouldn't have been in this state in the first place. You wouldn't have had these problems if you just cooked the damn bird. Chat, like, no joke. Food poisoning is not something to mess around with. Don't. No. Or salmonella. Like, any of the foodborne illnesses, not things you want. Not that you really want any illness, but, like, they're not fun. Hydra's a strong-looking dimensional. It's even immune to poison disease. It's a great dimensional. You know, Hydra might be one of the best dimensionals all time. Hey, Grimes gets to eat. Grimes getting to eat. There we go. Bad Guy still has 11 keys, though, and the death animation, or I guess it's the damage animation, for Octonauty is hilarious, where it's just like, it pulls back, like, it does this dramatic, pained look away, and then it collapses. Is this Grimes big enough to one-shot? 852? No, it's close, but not quite. Actually, it's gonna do it, because you could roll this up, kill this, but then you're right next to there? I don't know about that. That might not be worth it. I mean, there are plays that can be made here. Our hero is on the ropes. Ooh, we get the block here. I actually like that. I like it. Playing it safer. Grimes could, of course, still be under pressure, but, like, okay, you yoink this Hydra, and it's kind of a big who cares. All right, this is a thing you can do. Ooh, going for the heart pressure. I like it, Bad Guy. That's fair. I don't know about that one. Wait, so basically, Bad Guy's entire turn was swap this one panic point? I don't know about that one. I wonder if they could have killed the Cyclops here. Like, if they had focused that down instead. I don't know if that's necessarily much better, because then this still happens. And you're going to lose the cowbell probably to lava. Charon. Sure. Just like that, our hero has stabilized, and I don't think there's a damn thing bad guy can do about it. Obviously got a position to body block stuff out or stop them from getting in there, but... But realistically... Well, they could walk to this panic point and then attack. You're at 1350. Or they can just claim it with a... I forgot about Alistor because it kind of was like blending in. Wait, what? I guess it... Well, I don't know. This does remove something from the board, so that way you can't defend the heart as easily. But, I mean, you're just going to get clobbered here either way. I guess it doesn't really matter. Grimes, getting big. So bad guy could have claimed this point and then, like, killed this. But because Alistor's dimensional also, right? Yeah, Alistor's dimensional. I wonder if it wouldn't have made a material difference because then our hero could have claimed this point back. And these two would have been, like, the Stairmaster probably would have died to the dimensional damage here. Or maybe the Inoculus would. Either way, I think both are fragile enough that regardless of what happened, they just die up here. And then the Alistor is super vulnerable too. I was trying to see if there was a way to, like, get one more... Well, actually, no. Could bad guy not have just won there? Oh, no, wait. You needed more damage on this, because this had, like, 1,700 health. Yeah, there's... You could have, like, maybe... So, Alistor still does its thing. These two kill this. I don't think it really matters. I think Grimes was too big and Alistor was damaged and probably died in one hit. Probably true. I think bad guy was screwed either way. I was trying to see if there was a way to make the math work out that you could have claimed the point and get a hit on the heart, and then you might have enough pressure to get there. Because then you only need, like, literally one more hit. But I don't think that ever happens. Instead, Charon with the final kill. Well played there, Renamon. GG. All right, chat. I got to take a quick break. We'll be back in a little while. I'm going to put a random game on because it's that time, so we get random games. BRB, don't go away. All right, chat, I'm back. Grimes is... I want Grimes that looks fun to use. Yeah, Grimes seems pretty cool. Grimes is fun but hard to set up sometimes. That's absolutely true. I remember... There was a point in time, I wouldn't say 2 years ago, but close to 2 years ago, where people were shrieking about how broken Grimes was. People were losing their goddamn minds over Grimes, and it's just like, I'm not even sure this Phobies is good. Like, Grimes can be absolutely scary, but I'll be honest, other than viewer games, like submitted games where people are explicitly trying to use Grimes, I don't know if anybody uses it. And correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Like, maybe you're seeing Grimes in every game, but it feels like Grimes just... Wait. Are you about to get fucking Mildred stomped? Feels like you're about to get pooped on by Mildred right now. Is this really happening? Oh. Because Mildred was on cooldown. They already did, but it wasn't that great. Fair. Oh. It's not a viewer game, so I don't care. I don't care. We can do, like... We'll do, like, one more, maybe two more. So, I know, Kuro, you said that you were going to submit a game, but, like... There's only one of viewers on there. What was the other one you wanted us to do? I'd have to go look it up in chat. One against Shinra might be more interesting. What was the one against Shinra? Did you... It's not in the list. I know, like, the Edgar / Russell avatar, it just looks like he's, like, doing the villain henchman laugh of, like, like, it's just so stupid looking, the avatar. Grimes at first glance looks broken, but you need so long until you have that scenario where Grimes gets a kill that most of it's not worth the keys. I agree. I mean, Grimes is threatening. It's a burrow. It's a dimensional. It does decent damage. But there's better things you can generally do. And Grimes can also just be chipped down. Because it's like, oh, well, Grimes killed... He one-shot these, like, 3 1 keys. And he's threatening 1 million damage. All right, well, I just fucking kill him. Like, who cares? I see it, too, about the avatar. Yeah. You know what it kind of reminds me of? The dog from Duck Hunt. You know, from NES Duck Hunt, where the dog would laugh at you every time you miss? That's what he reminds me of. You can check one of my games against Dadbot if you have time. Yeah, just throw it in the sheet, Succubus. We're doing... Kuro did put a game on the sheet. But we're just switching which game it is. So the Shinra one. So this one. This will probably be the last one based on how long it is. I'm expecting this will be the last one for the evening because it's a long-ish game. We got Kuro. We're doing a bonus game. We got through the other ones pretty quick tonight, comparatively. Got a little Shinra versus Kuro. No notes for this game, or at least I don't think there are any notes. Let me check. I don't see any notes. But this is allegedly a more interesting game than the other one that Kuro submitted, so we swapped them. Yeah, a little Tooth Fairy action. Was this from Ladder, or was this a, like, Monster of the Week or something? Yeah, so I put the poll out there, chap. Speaking of Monster of the Week, I put the poll out there for whether people want to do Double Limb versus Swiss. And I know there's a lot of proponents for Double Limb, but I don't think they understand the logistics. Only dimensional ladder? Okay. Double a limb, to me, is a logistical nightmare, especially when we have a precedent for people just not showing up or then disappearing for extended periods of time, and there's no dedicated, like, this is when you're supposed to start. I was considering experimenting with it in Monster of the Week just because the scale is smaller, but I think for Fright Night it's nightmarish. Although I am considering, I was talking to my wife about this, pitching to the devs, like, not doing Fright Night at all anymore, and instead doing continental or just general geographical Monster of the Weeks, and then having the winners from those Monster of the Weeks feed into a Fright Night. So it would be like, Fright Night becomes invite only, And then there are weekly Monster of the Weeks. One for North America, let's say, or, you know, like, maybe we split it by time zones, I don't know. One for Europe, one for Asia Pacific, one for, you know, whatever happens to suit everything. As long as we can support enough people showing up. I think the big issue with that will generally be we're going to end up with a lot of people playing cross-regionally, which is fine in general, but if we want to have roughly, like, this is this region's pseudo-champion, it's going to be problematic if, like, 6 of the 8 people are from another region, because then it kind of, like, defeats the point. It's not the end of the world, but maybe more quantity-wise and more frequent, smaller events are better than doing the larger Fright Night. I don't know. I can put polls out there. I can ask the questions of the community, and I don't know if people... I don't generally get huge responses. This is actually a cool play, not just because of Scritch. Well, mostly because of Scritch, I'm not going to lie. The rearranging here is kind of interesting. I'm not going to pause it to do the math, but I'm going to assume Kuro checked all this out to make sure that they weren't just going to get annihilated by a counterattack. Because there's a world where, like, you put Tooth Fairy here, move Stabby up, and then clobber these. But, like, given what was clustered here, you possibly just get blown out. Then again, maybe you don't, because you can still counterattack here, and things are going to get displaced due to the dimensional pull. But interestingly enough, Shinra, while I was yapping about the different events... Ooh, a little glob action. Shinra was trying to set up what I usually do on this map, which is... Well, they did it with Gravedigger, but Crushmore to block this off, and then Lob. The reason I like Crushmore is, of course, it's a more confined... you don't require as many resources, because... As opposed to 2 Phobies, it's only 1, even though it's more keys. Actually, it's not more keys, because it's 8 for this versus 6 for this. And it's also more damage from Crushmore than from Evo, depending on levels. Harley? She says yes. Harley confirms. Gargles action. Kuro being much more honest than some of our other viewer games that were going allegedly all-dimensional. We'll see if it holds. Smiley finally making an appearance. Shinra caught on. I guess. You know what's funny is, yo, we get the double Scritch. Who needs Gonzo? Who need Gonzo who? Unfortunately, you need 3 hits, so 2 things are going to get diseased. I was going to say, interestingly enough, I wonder how much of an answer Glob is truly to Smiley. Like, how often does it really work? A little Graylien action, because who doesn't want to pull? Still a 3-to-1 panic point advantage, so Kuro's got to dig out of this hole at some point. Only halfway through the game. Well, a little past halfway. Little bit past. Really? I guess that... Yeah, if you can kill this... Yeah, you can definitely kill it. Wow. Okay. Okay, then. The Gargles, though, providing a cool wall, with the exception that the Glob now is kind of useless. Because it's going to be difficult for it to connect. Until you switcher you. Which I imagine is in the near future. Like, you can switcher you to Stabby right now. Is that worth it? Oh, even better, it's the Evo! Got him! Num 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 num. Got him. And with the kill. You love to see it. You love to see it. Unless you're Shinra, in which case you hate to see it, because that is savage. Still kind of rough here. Still a little rough. I mean, you get to pick here, but I assume this Gralien's going down. This... What the fuck? Does Scritch always do that when it gets hit? This is how, like, honest to God, chat. If you had asked me, what is Scritch's hurt animation, I would never be able to tell you. It does a backflip. I guess this is just to dodge the Gravedigger. I was going to say, why not send the Glob in, but then you'd probably get clobbered by Gravedigger. Looks like Gargles is going to take the brunt of this offensive. Ooh, replacing the block. This is comical. Glob has gotten multiple kills this game. This is absolutely bonkers when you think about it. This is absolutely bonkers. Notably, Scritch is now just a 2-move ranged Phobie because... Does the game even let you buff Glob? Like, could you buff Glob? It wouldn't get to attack. But I assume it's like trying to buff the heart. It's just not a legal target. Ooh, I like this. Claiming the extra point while you can. Opponent's distracted. Glob hanging out, covering home base. Oh my god. They traded? What? Yo, this game got dumb. Shinra, seeing the writing on the wall, honorably offers up the Gonzo for the Glob to feast on. Oh boy. That's a thing. Om nom, baby. GG. GG. How about that? How about that, chat? How about them apples? How about that puppy? Good boy. By good boy, I mean good girl. Gotta be saying good boy all Phobies night. I say the wrong thing. She's a good girl. Right, Harley? Hey, Killian, thank you for the follow. That was a while back, but... or refollow, I guess, since you said you're back. But chat, that's going to do it. We'll be back tomorrow for variety. We got Fright Night coming up this weekend. No Monster of the Week, because Fright Night. I'm going to miss some time at some point in the next few weeks. I got to schedule some things. I might not miss time, but it's going to depend on how scheduling works. We'll see. I'll post about things that are coming and going. But, like I said, that's going to do it for tonight. Definitely a lot of fun watching these games. Definitely a lot of cool stuff. A lot of things to talk about for Phobies. But until it's Fright Night time, which when you see this on YouTube, it'll be tomorrow. As always, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And next time for more.